Okay. So hello everyone. So welcome back to the session on your security. So with respect to your operating system here. So in this particular session, we are going to discuss about something called as system and network threats. In the previous session, we have discussed about something called as programming threats, right? So we have discussed about program threads. So program threads in the sense nothing but here in this case what we have discussed is how we the internal programs whatever are present within a system how they can be affected by this particular scenario that we have discussed in this particular program threads. Like something like whatever the resources that are present in our system, whatever the resources that are present in our system. And remember this, these program threads are with respect to something not internet. We don't have any internet connection and all. So just within your laptop, for example, your laptop is there, and within that laptop what are the resources are there that are getting affected by this different type of viruses and all comes under into this particular thing. But when you are connecting this particular laptop to a internet connection, then this becomes a system threat or a network threat. Okay, because from the network there is a possibility that some kind of virus or some kind of Trojan horse or some kind of what we call that worms will be affecting your system, laptop. Not only that, even the network through which you people might be communicating with your friends. Okay, maybe like you people are sending the WhatsApp information. Okay, you might be sending some critical information through WhatsApp to your friends. So there is a possibility with the help of a network, they may try to get into your system and they may try to hack all the information, whatever the critical information is there. They can try to interpret with the help of this particular thread. So those kind of threats comes under here system and network threats. So in this particular thing, what we are going to discuss here is something like cryptography and network threats that I'm going to explain it here. So going ahead, oh, the system is getting hanged up. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. So here, so if you see here, okay, fine. Let me show you the content here, and then based on that, I'll be performing the operations in this particular thing. So if you see in this particular thing, what is exactly speaking here is nothing but till now we have discussed about something called as programming threads. And in the programming threads, we have discussed about something relevant to the resources, whatever are available, whatever the resources that are present within our system, how these are getting affected, how these are getting affected by the different viruses or worms. We usually call worms. Worms is the one which we'll be discussing here with respect to it. And apart from this, we have something called something other things. What we have here is Trojan horse. So we do have Trojan horses, and apart from that, we have something else like something we discussed about stag and buffer overflow. So this one you people please keep in mind, stag and buffer flow overflow. This will be coming here in this particular scenario that we'll be discussing here. Now, what is saying exactly in this particular scenario here is that, and whenever you people are connecting your system to something called as a network connection, there is a possibility that a security, whatever the security is there, you might be compromising that security. Why? Because if you are not protecting your system perfectly, then definitely, like sometimes you should be securing your entire resources, whatever are available that is present within your system. If you're not securing those particular system and anyone can access those particular resources, then definitely someone will be trying to utilize that particular resources and they will be trying to do some kind of mischief with respect to the resources present with you. So in order to make sure that these kind so provide protections, you should be using some kind of mechanisms. So the best example for this, what I can say, in your Android mobile phone, whenever you people download an application, let's take an example of a Instagram. Okay, you people can take an example of a Instagram. Now in the Instagram, whenever you are installing it, he will tell you that he want to access related information related to your messages, or he will be asking you to in the access to the pics wherever you people are storing the information, and wherever the videos are there, that he will be asking you to access the information. Now here, remember that just if you people are installing Instagram just only to watch the videos or something like watching the pics and all, you are not uploading it, you don't have to give the permissions with respect to this. You people can simply deny those permissions. But what we people do is simply will give the permissions to them. Well, Instagram is a big it has been under WhatsApp. I mean, what we call WhatsApp and Instagram comes under Facebook, so we can trust them. But there are possibility that there are applications which may be trying to access the critical information from your system. Same, this is a process. They will ask you that they wanted to access your messages, they wanted to have control over your something called as pics and wherever the data location is there. So indirectly, internally means we are giving the permission, and once we say yes, you can access the information, definitely they can use that information for other means. Okay, so they can use, even not only that, even what in Facebook you people are installing information and all, you should be very much critical. Now you, that's the reason Facebook has provided so many security features, like third person cannot see your, or I mean, if they are opening your profile, they cannot click onto your what we'll call your profile pic, or they cannot click onto your DP and all, whatever it is, they cannot download it. He has provided protection. Why this much protection is required is because if we are giving a permission for that particular person to access it, definitely he can use or utilize it for some other purpose. So we should be very much careful when we are implementing these kind of things. So here network threads are the very hardest. So earlier we discussed about program threads. And these program threads are actually no problem. These are the one which will be affecting the resources that are present in the system. So definitely we can have mechanisms. We can use some mechanisms using which we can detect them. But whenever network threads comes into picture, whenever you're connecting your laptop to something called as using an internet connection, means you are getting exposure to the outer world. Outer world in the sense the outer world which consists of lot of networks, and from where you're trying to get access the different type of informations. Now here, detecting that from which particular network some kind of virus or some kind of attack has taken place on your laptop or your system of your device, whatever you're using, is very difficult. Okay, and moreover protection of that particular system will be different, because I know that not only this, it's a common thing that many of us, whoever are having laptops and all, they might not be having antivirus, a proper antivirus or a licensed antivirus. You should use always a licensed antivirus in order to perform it. So I don't think many of you people, or neither, so many of us might not be having this particular antiviruses. So what will happen here if we don't have that? So definitely we are allowing the outside attackers to easily come and attack on our system and get information from that particular thing. How they can get the information is something with respect to this IP addresses. They can directly attack on our IP addresses, and they can try to utilize our IP addresses for performing different operations. And moreover, it is not so easy to detect them also. That is a difficult thing with respect to the networking. Mainly whenever you're connecting your network, means your system with the networks, then only these kind of situations actually takes place. So here, if you talk about in regarding to system and network threats, we are going to discuss about three different kind of things here. First one is something you people are seeing here is called as worms. And the next one what we have, so worms is there, next we have denial of service, and after that we have one more. So these are the three things what we are going to discuss with okay, with respect to your something called a system and network threats. So first one is worm. Let us discuss what exactly this worm you meant by this. Well, actually, worm is nothing but this is a kind of a file. Worm is basically is nothing but it is a kind of a file, a normal file like the one which you people created now. Like you people are opening, you people have opened a Word document. You people are opening a Word document, and within that, what is that Word document? It's a file. Same way here, it is a small file form. But do you know what is the intention of this particular file is? Once if this particular file is inserted in your system, what this file will do, it will consist of some kind of code. Like if people are writing a program, like program dot C means this is a file which consists of a code called as C. Same way, when you compile that program, you will be getting program.obj file. So this is an object file. Same way here, what is saying is this particular form is nothing but this is a kind of a program. Okay, it's a kind of a program in a file. So whenever this particular file will insert it into your system, or by default it comes access to your particular system, what he will do is he will simply try to replicate. He will simply try to replicate that particular file. For example, a worm has been inserted in your system. Once it is perfectly settled in your system, he will duplicate itself. It will create, this is another worm. Now this file will be, so two worms, again we have four worms duplicated. Now four, now this becomes additional four. So what happened here now, total 8 worms are there. So 8 to 16. So this time what happens here, you will be creating 16 worms like this. So 8, 8, 16. Now 16, 16 is 32. Now you'll be creating 32. So in this way, the files will keep on incrementing. And what exactly this particular file consists of means nothing. It will consist of a same code for duplicating itself. This is something like a carbon copy, and it will keep on doing it until your entire system get crashed. Until your system is getting crashed, it will keep on duplicating it. It will try to fill the empty spaces. Okay, whatever the empty spaces there present in your system, we will totally fully use it up. And apart from that, whatever the stack we have discussed in the previous session, stack which is used for storing the information, right? He will simply fill it this with this particular files, so that we will not be able to execute any other file. Like if we want to open a word file to perform operation, that word file should be placed into the stack, but this stack will always be in a full condition. And also we had discussed in the previous session stack and buffer overflow. Stack overflow means this will be filled with his program, the infected program, and automatically we will not be able to use our applications to install into the stack and perform the operation. That, that is what he's saying exactly here in this particular scenario. So basically it is a uses a spam mechanism. Spam mechanism is nothing but something like duplicating. And if you want a real-time practical example for this, you people will be getting a lot of spams. You know, in your mail ID, you will be having spams. Based upon the filters provided by Google, what they will do is they will identify what exactly this particular file is, or what exactly that particular mail is. And based upon that particular mail, he will automatically store that particular files in the spam folders. And whenever we are storing the information in the spam, you should never try to open it. Just you have to delete them. Okay, because whatever the information is present, that is only to read the data from your system. Suppose he is asking you, you have won a lottery of 1 lakh rupee, you just insert click on this button to get. As soon as you're clicking or click on that particular URL, as soon as you're clicking on that particular URL or that particular button, automatically you're giving access. So that button will consist of a program. What is the program is that that program will consist of information that you're giving permission to access your system. And once you're clicking on the button, he will be entering in your system, and now the entire system belongs to that particular hacker, and he can do anything with respect to whatever he want to do with the system. So you should be very careful with respect to when you're checking the mails also, and during the messages whenever you're opening it, even during the WhatsApp also. If you're getting the message from some other person, you should not try to open them. If you don't know, simply delete them. If you try to open it, definitely there's a possibility he may be trying to hack your systems. Yeah, so that you people have to keep in mind. So that comes under here. Now, coming to this particular worm, what is talking about? It is a file. It's a normal file which consists of a certain code which will try to duplicate itself and totally destroy the system. Now, here, this worm is with respect to internet. We have an internet worm here. Now, what exactly this particular worm used to do is actually this is developed by one of the person. I don't know how many of you know that this is actually developed by some Robert Jr. Okay, I don't know the full name related to this. This is some half of the name which I am representing here. Robert Jr. He is actually a first year graduate, same like you people. He is a graduate during his graduation, like BTech and all. During the first year, he actually developed this particular program. This program, and he has implemented that in the net. You know that whenever your laptop is connected to a net means you are connected to multiple systems, right? So what he did is simple. Suppose this is a system of his robot. He simply injected this through the network. So what this particular swarm did is he went to all the systems which are present here. All the systems which are present here, it automatically went there and it started. But actually, it did not do any kind of intentional damage to the systems, but it is only to duplicate the files and run. But really, that is a very risky thing. Again, he was caught and he was, since it is a graduate and all, they did some kind of infringements, though no big deal. But here we are actually discussing about technicalities related to this particular worm. Now here, this particular worm which you are talking, which is developed by robot, this worm is actually having two different type of programs. Okay, one is what we call it as a main program. Like you people write a main method in a .c same way, and another one is something we call it as grappling hook. Grappling hook. Okay, and this grappling hook we can also call it as a vector program or bootstrap program. This grappling hook we can call it as a vector program or a bootstrap program. Do you know what is the total line of codes it has? It's a C code. Obviously, whenever we wanted to hack anything or whatever the hackers use the program is basic C language in order, because it's very easy to do that. So what is the total number of lines? Do you know? It has only 29 lines of code. You people are writing much more than you people are able to write 300 or 400 lines of code. But this particular thing, what he's talking about here, worm, it has only 99 lines of code. And using this code, he made a lot of damage to the systems and all. Okay, he's capable of doing it. So that is the best part of this particular thing. So here, what exactly he did is this particular grappling hook, what is talking about, it used to do one thing, and the main program what I'm talking about, it used to do some other kind of thing what it is. Now this grappling hook, you can say he's a messenger. He's a messenger. What is the task of this particular grappling hook is nothing but he has to go from one system to another system. This grappling hook program will be shifting from one system to another system. Okay, another system, something like so for example, this is your system. Okay, and you're connected to internet connection, so definitely you will be having multiple hosts here like this. Just assume it. Okay, yeah, you people are connected like this. This is the okay, this is the one which consists of this grappling hook program, and as well as that another program, that is main program, we basically call it as a worm. So this worm is located into this device number 1, this is device number 2, device number 3, and device number 4. Now what this grappling hook will do is okay, let me tell me the purpose of this main function. This main function's purpose is to identify the nearby devices which are connected to this particular system. Now what are the devices that are connected to D1 here? D2 and D4. So main function will detect, okay, there are two devices that are connected to this particular system. So that is D2 and D4. Now immediately this grappling hook will be distributed to this particular D2 device. So grappling hook will be coming here, and as well as he will be coming here. And here it will be coming, and once you give the permission or something like infringements and all, it will settle in your system. It will directly enter in your system. Once this grappling hook is entering in your system, he will try to access the information, means whatever the worm is there, worm is nothing but grappling hook plus this main program. This grappling hook will get it from this particular location. So here also it will have a main program. Now here also it will be having a main program. Now this main program, again, what is the function of the main program? Detecting the nearby devices that are connected. Now let us suppose I have another device D5. So this is, so you can see that D5 and D3 is connected to D3. Main program will detect, okay, there are two devices that are connected. Simply it will send this grappling hook program to this location and this. And by some means, you people will be clicking on that and it will enter into this particular system. Now what he will do, he will try to determine this particular host name from where exactly we are originated. Now this grappling hook will first come here. From here it will come to know this is the original boss, from where exactly this has started. From here, the main program, whatever is there, that will be dumped into this particular systems. Same way with D1. So if this one is there, it will try to identify. Now from this system, since this particular thing has come up, this will also come here. This grappling hook and main program will come here. But this will be a duplicate of it. No, automatically it will get deleted because already one is there. So based on that. So now here, from here, this main program will again try to determine wherever the location, means wherever the new devices are there, and based on that it will just find it out, and there it will dump this particular grappling hook. It will get inserted there, and it will again start processing this particular thing. So this way what happens, the entire network got damaged. Within a few hours the entire system has been collapsed, because as I told you that if you people are connected to a net, so that means you have been connected to the outer world. So you people can send any information from any network to any location just with the help of a simple connections. So all these are interconnected. This is like, I don't know how many of you seen Terminator movie and all. If you have seen the first movie, you people will be knowing that what is the main purpose of them. They wanted to connect all the world. They had a central computer, supercomputer, and they wanted to connect all the devices that are present in the network to that particular supercomputer. And that is what the mistake they did, because this supercomputer is having a capability using artificial intelligence. That particular supercomputer is able to think on its own, and it started performing it, and that is what we call it as Terminator. And if you ask me real time practice also, I don't know how many of you know, Facebook has developed two different type of what we call Do you know artificial intelligence based systems? Okay, one of the system name is Bob and another system name is Alice. These two are what developed by Facebook. And you know what? I just heard that this particular Bob and Alice were based upon artificial intelligence concepts. They started learning. And do you know, Facebook recently have shut down both of them. Do you know the reason for that? Because these Bob and Alice, they have learned a lot of things using artificial intelligence. Now they have their own language to talk with each other. Means whenever this Bob and Alice used to talk with each other, they used to use a different kind of language which humans cannot understand. Means the one who has created them, even they are not able to understand that particular language. And we don't know what these people are speaking. So immediately the Facebook people have immediately decided to shut down these two projects, or else it will again don't know what type kind of thing it is going to take place. So for that is what comes under here. So that is what we call as worm here. Okay, so here is a diagram related to that. See, this is an infected system. This is a main system where exactly he has dumped that particular worm. This is, and as I told you, this worm will consist of something called as grappling hook and the main program. Okay, main program. Now what will happen, this particular worm, this worm will be sent to another system. Okay, I'm sorry for this disturbance here. So here, what this worm will be done is this worm will be sent to the targeted system, whichever is connected to it. Now within this particular, okay, sorry, not like this. Yeah. So grappling hook and main program. So what exactly what will happen here is this is a main program what we have. Now from this system, an RSH attack will be done to this particular system. This is the targeted system what we have. So we will be so this particular system will be sending one command RSH. RSH is nothing but this is a Unix command. This is a Unix command we are having. Okay. This Unix command, whatever we are talking about in this particular scenario, this Unix command will be used for networking purposes. This is used for networking purposes where we can transmit the data. Like if people use email, whenever you, I don't know how many of you know, computer networks is not there for you people. So when you will discuss that, whenever you want to send an email, what you people are doing, you people will be logging into your Gmail account, you're sending it. Do you know we are using some protocol here, STMP, short. Okay, STMP is a protocol we use it. Short of message protocol. Okay, this is the one which we use it. This protocol will be using it. Exactly, I don't know the. I just forgot the name. This protocol STMP is the protocol which is used. SMTP. Sorry. SMTP is the protocol which actually we use it. This comes in your computer networks to transmit the mail from source to destination. Suppose you're sending a mail to your friend, that will be transmitted using SMTP protocol. What is this protocol is nothing but this is a set of these commands, something like these kind of commands. It is also a program. So here RSH is the command which we use from your Unix, and this is used to transmit the data over the network. So using RSH, what happened? He actually sent an attack to this. What did he transfer here is grappling hook. Now here there are three different. So this particular worm can be attacked using three different type of points. One is the one what we have discussing right now. Second is the finger attacks. Third is the send mail attack. So I will explain them one by one. You people will understand. So right now what we are discussing is this one. RSS attack. These are three. Any one of the attack is possible enough in order to hack this particular system. You don't have to do this RSS attack, finger attack, and send. No, no, no. Only one of them. Any one of them you can attack, and based on that, you people can perform the operations. So here, what exactly happening here is, so this grappling hook will be dumped into this particular system. Now this system, what it will do, it will try to identify where exactly this particular worm is located, and from there it will try to get whichever the target. So from whichever the main system is it, this is the main system which consists of this particular worm. Now what it is going to do is it will just try to get this particular worm. It will request and it will simply dump that particular worm here. Now from here, as I told you, this will consist of a main program. This will again find another target system, and from here again this grappling hook will be transmitted here. From here again this will be requesting this particular worm, and this worm will be dumped into that particular system. Whatever I have explained here in this particular scenario, that is going to happen in this particular point of time. Okay, So this is the way how exactly this form works. So as I told you, there are three different ways. RSH attack. This is the RSH attack. What we have seen it, sending a particular infected message or a mail, sorry, infected file to that particular using a network, sending it to the target, and that target by somehow able to install that grappling hook in his system. Then this grappling hook will be duplicating it, and it will try to get the worm from there. This worm will be again dumped into this targeted system, and that will be again identifying new targets, and then again same process will be repeated, and now this worm will be duplicating the files here, automatically shutting down this entire system. It may not be allowed to perform the normal functions with respect to your programs whatever you are having. The next one is something called as finger attack. Finger attack is nothing but this is a utility function. Finger is nothing but it's a Unix utility function. Yeah, same like you people are using that cd command, and in Unix you people we have discussed about different type of commands like cat command. We discussed about rm command, mv command, right? Same way here. In this case, this is also one of the command. Okay, you can call it as a function, but we call it as a Unix utility function. Now, what is the purpose of this function means if you use this finger in this format like host at the rate some data, so whenever you're executing this particular command, finger under space host at the rate username, something like that, do you know what this is going to do? This will be simply try to get all your personal information. If this command is sent to your system, and if your system responded to it, what will happen is your personal details will be mailed to it. What kind of personal details are something like Gmail, your Gmail account number, your phone number, your gender, whatever your gender is, what is your age, and what is your name, all that details. Suppose if you have filled something like if you have filled anything inside something like related to where you are working, where you people are studying, in which year you are in, which section you are studying, which department you are studying, all that information will be actually easily able to hack it using this particular command, finger attack. We call it as a finger attack. The third one, what you people are seeing here, we call it as a send mail attack. I think you people can understand. So here, this is an attack with respect to your mail. So you'll be sent a mail here. That mail will consist of infectious file. As soon as you're opening that particular mail or clicking on that, that infectious mail will be dumped in your system and automatically it will get installed. And remaining process is same like your worm, whatever it is does. So same thing comes under here in this particular thing. So here what happens here whenever send mail, here we will be when you're sending this particular mail and all, you should be very much mostly you people will be spaying if you see a spam folder in your Google, in your Google, if you're having a spam folder here, within that folder, you people can try to see that the lot of every day you'll be getting lot of different kind of mails, like some like lottery mails, some like you if you install this, you'll be getting a bumper offer. You are having a discount in your sales and all. So don't ever try. Okay, like they may be they will keep track of your people what exactly you're shopping. For example, being a like for example, girls usually like shopping a lot, so they'll be doing some kind of shopping, so they'll give you something relevant to that, so that you people will think, okay, I'm getting an offer, I'll go with this, and when you're simply clicking on that, they will try to hack your system. So you shouldn't be getting grabbed by such a kind of offers, remember that thing. So that is what comes under send mail attack in this particular scenario. Now apart from worm, we are having another two more: port scanning. I think you people heard about this port. You know that your system. Oh. Hmm. So if you talk about your port scanning here, you know that your system is connected. If your system is connected to a net, definitely it is done using something called as a port. Okay, like Ethernet cable. In your labs, you people we might have seen that you have a brown color cable coming from one system to another system and all. That is what comes under Ethernet, and that Ethernet is the one which will be used for connecting your system to outside world. Okay, and the next is we have something called denial of service. This is not an attack. Okay, so remember one thing, uh, these two are not attacks. These two are not the attacks with respect to getting control of your system. These are something to destroy your system. Remember that. These port scanning, denial of service, you can say this is for destruction purpose only. This is something like destruction purpose we are going to use it. What do you mean by destruction purpose? In the sense something like, let us assume that in your system you are having a file. a movie file. Let us suppose that xyz.mp4 movie file. Now this denial of service, what it will do is it will something, it is same like your normal file. That malicious file will enter in your system. What he will try to do is he will remove all the access rights that are there with respect to your applications. For example, you are having a Word file, you are having a movie file like .mp4, you are having an Excel file, you are having your photos like JPG files. He will simply remove the access permissions with respect to this. What do you mean by access permissions? What are the access permissions that we have? Read, write, execute. These three should be there. Then only you can open a file for reading purpose, writing, and execution. But if these are not there, so what can you open a file? It's not possible. So what happens whenever you want to see or watch a movie, when you're clicking on that, it will not be getting executed. Yeah, it will not. You will double click on that, but it will say that this application cannot be used right now, or it may say that this application is no longer available. Even though that is present in your system, it will simply say that this application is not available. So that is what we call denial of service. Means you, that service is not provided to you people. That is this is so that is mainly used for destruction of your system. He, that person or the hacker, don't want to get any information from your system. He just wanted your system get destroyed. So then we will be using this denial of service kind of a concept. So what will happen whenever you wanted to open any system, your system will not be opening it up. Or whenever you wanted to open any application, your system will not work properly. Why? It will not open that particular application. So these are some of the problems that we have with respect to denial of services. Mostly you will be seeing when you don't have antiviruses in your system, then definitely attacks will be done like this. And here, if you see here, we have, apart from that, we have distributed denial of services here. This is one of the strongest one. This is one of the strongest and most powerful weapon for the hackers, using which these people can, or not only hackers, other persons, like whoever try to want to access your data and I mean want to destroy your systems and all, they can distribute it in the sense automatically from one system to another system. That file will be traveling, and it will destroy all the systems that are present in that particular network connection. So everything, remember, whatever we are discussing is with respect to networks. This is not with respect to your net system without having any network. This is only solely based upon the network whatever we are using it. So if you're not connected your system with your network, definitely there will not be these kind of attacks. But yes, other kind of attacks are possible. That is what we discussed in programming kind of thing. Program threats we have discussed now, that kind of attacks are possible. But this denial of service, port scanning, see, port scanning when we require, definitely if you have an internet connection. If you don't have an internet connection, this port scanning is not going to work at all. So what exactly this port scanning will do is nothing but it will try to get your IP address. It will actually try to get your IP address. It will use something called as port scanner. So how this particular thing works, let me explain it. And with this we'll stop. How exactly this particular thing works here is nothing but suppose there is a system. This is the system of a which consists of infectious file. It consists of infectious file and this is your system. So what this infectious file will do, it will try to send one email to you. Maybe some kind of communication it is going to take. I'm just taking an example of an email. It can be anything, maybe your WhatsApp group or WhatsApp message, or maybe your Telegram message, maybe your Instagram message. What, it can be anything. I'm just normally taking an example of an email. It is trending it. Suppose this system is not reacting to it. So how it will react based upon your, based upon the user, right? For example, you got an email saying that you have won a lottery of 5 lakhs. You people can provide your details, your name, password, then your age, then your credit card number. If he is asking this, so definitely you should understand that this person is a fraud. Because if you don't know any of this information, how can he say that this particular that you have won a lottery if you don't know the name and all? So that is what the problem here exactly get. So automatically what will happen? Let us suppose some people are there who don't have awareness, they will send the details to it. Once that details are given to it, means you have responded to this particular mail. So this mail will consist of infectious file that will simply dump into this. Now, what this person will do, this particular system will do is when it will get a response from this, it will try to find out whether it is from the email or not. If it is from the email, it will find out whether this is the email which I have transmitted, which consists of infectious message or not. It will try to find out. If it is, then it will use port scanner. it will use a port scanner and try to scan the IP address of this particular system. That is your system. I think you people know about IP address, right? 192.168. 2.5 something like this, you will be having an IP address. This will be discussing in computer networks where you have four different type of classes: class A, class B, C, and D. So this comes into any one of the class here. Maybe I think B or C, something like that. Okay. So any one of the class, this thing comes here. So this IP address, it will try to detect. And remember, IP addresses are very unique. So we can easily trace them up, who has sent that particular messages. So whenever you're connected with your system, make sure whenever you're transmitting any message, you are not transmitting any infringement kind of messages. Because if it is something which consists of related to some kind of which shouldn't be there, they can the cyber people can easily try to find out from which system it has actually originated. How? Based upon this particular IP addresses. They will simply track this IP address, and this IP address will consist of your full information. Full information of the user will be there. So automatically they'll come and they'll catch them up. So that you should be very much careful when you are using this particular internet connections and you're transmitting unwanted messages or something like that. So using port scanners, they will be scanning it up and he will try to get the information, and then he will be dumping that messages, and automatically he will be performing the practices whatever we are having. So here, since as I told you that these IP addresses can be traceable, means we can easily trace, then how, what about the hackers and the crackers, how they are going to identify? Means they will also get identified na? But we cannot but we have never seen any hacker getting caught by using this. If a professional hacker is there, why? Because they use something called as zombie systems. They use zombie systems launch. So whenever a cyber people will try to hack, I mean try to trace this particular IP address from where that particular attack has taken place, so they will be coming across to this zombie system. Now these are the systems which will reduce the traces. Zombie systems are nothing but these are the one which are designed, actually these are also normal systems what we are using, but they will not be having some perfect IDs. They will not be having something called as perfect IP addresses. They'll have some malfunction, malicious IP addresses. So even though if you're tracing it up and you're getting the IP address, still you will not get any information. Okay, maybe it will have a information of a person who is not at all existing. So such kind of things is what we call it as zombie systems. And the main purpose of this zombie system reduce the traces of identifying it. So whenever anyone is a hacker or a cracker is attacking on any system, they will try to reduce the traces. That's the reason it takes a lot of time for the cyber people to identify who has actually attacked it. And even by the time they come to know who has attacked it, definitely that person is from outside the country. So it's not possible to catch him up because the laws related to outer countries are different from the one what we are having. So these are the things what comes under your system and network threats. That is nothing but worms, port scanning, and denial of services. So I hope you people have understood this. So this is all for today's session. Tomorrow, we will be discussing about something called as crypto. I mean cryptography. So tomorrow we will be discussing, from tomorrow we'll start cryptography, and in this we'll be discussing about how encryption and decryption of a particular code is done. For example, in WhatsApp, you people are transmitting the data, how the system is able to identify. How means when you're transmitting over the network, hi, how are you? If you are sending it up, the same message will not be traveling through the network. There it will be encrypted, and when it reaches you to your friend, to your mobile device, there it will be decrypted, and then she will be getting the actual information, that is nothing but hi, how are you. Then she will reply to that particular message. This is the way how exactly it is going to work, but it will not be displaying. Remember, whenever we are talking about cryptography, this is related to encryption and decryption. Whenever you are sending a message over the network, definitely it will be encrypted, and whenever it reaches the destination, we'll be decrypting it. Okay, so that we will be discussing in the next session. So this is all for today's session. I hope you people have understood. So thank you for watching.